We are going live.
I don't know why it's
There we're live.
live.
You see now when we always say this, Kelly and I, because we just see the buffer going and we never know whether or not we're live or not. So I'm just saying, oh hello.
Yeah.
So hello everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another live. It is Tuesday, the beginning of the week. Although if you're in the UK like us, it is a short week this week. So this week is 2 public holidays. We've got the Thursday and the Friday off, which is a celebration of the Queen's Jubilee. So they will be 2 bank holidays that we will enjoy this week. So I hope, like the rest of you, that you do have something nice planned for the weekend. And it will be, like I say, the weather's not too bad. The weather today has been absolutely bucketing here. It's been so wet. I was at work today, working from home, and the lightning hit twice, so it actually knocked out my internet for a very short period of time. I was in a meeting as well. So yeah, it came back on though eventually. So yeah, there we are. But very strong wind. So I'm hoping it's going to be nice weather for the bank holiday.
Now, I feel a little bit cheated because yesterday should have been a bank holiday. It's the last Monday of May.
Yes.
So we have 2 bank holidays in May. Normally one at the beginning and one at the end.
That's right. So by beginning of May, so it's the first Monday and the last Monday of the month.
And what's happened is, so the bank holiday that we should have had yesterday, they've actually moved it to Thursday.
Yeah.
And I just think they should have kept the Monday one and given us Thursday and Friday. So I feel, do you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a cheat, really.
But never mind. I will not knock having 2 days off.
So today, I don't know if I've worn these ears before, but I like them because they're like candied lollipops.
Well, funny enough, are you going to explain your little dress, because it looks like you've coordinated it?
Basically, it's really cold. It's been really cold over the last 3 days, I'd say.
I'm not cold.
Yeah, he says, and then he'll come upstairs going, God, it's colder up here than it is downstairs, isn't it? Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. The temperature has dropped. It's at last week or the week before, I think we were having things like 22, 23, and now it's like 18, if that.
Well,
I mean, it's dropped quite a few degrees.
No, depending on where you're from, of course, on the planet, 18 degrees really isn't that cold. But I think what it is, because it has been so warm and we are May, just approaching June, it feels a lot colder than it actually is. So, of course, when your body's used to a certain temperature and then it does drop, and to be fair, it has dropped to about 11. Now, for me, that's fine. But I know for Kelly, does not like anything below 18.
I don't like anything below 21. So, wow. Yeah. I mean, my family come from a hot country. And so when you're giving me these temperatures, it's very cold for me. So, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. In Mauritius, it would be far higher than 21. But for me, obviously, climatized, born in this country and everything else. But 21 is really nice and warm. Well, it's nice and warm.
You know what I was going to say, actually, because this would be freezing for Sahinas, because Sahinas was saying it's about 40 there in India. So I can totally understand, actually, that it's depending on your sort of used to temperature, it's could find it quite cold. And I do notice, actually, when we go to Lanzarote, you'll notice that the locals, when it's 20 degrees, they'll be around in jeans and a coat. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, but they will be in. So, of course, that's the temperature they're used to. That is cold for somebody that comes from a hotter climate.
I mean, this would be definitely cold for someone from Mauritius.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They would be wearing their big, thick coats. I mean, at the moment, I'm looking out the window because it's really raining.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I think the last time when we maybe this was Friday, it was raining because there was a rainbow. That was just starting, wasn't there?
So we've had the actual fact for the weather here. For anyone who's totally interested, so London, we have had it quite wet the last couple of days as well. Intermittent. So it was sunny this morning, and then this afternoon has just bucketed down with rain. Absolutely bucketed down with rain. So it has been quite wet, and also as well we've had the thunderstorms.
Yeah.
So big thunderstorms going on.
Because the other night, because even Richard's Adventures was saying that the lightning was really bad and we had lightning here, but where he was, his part of London was really bad with lightning and everything else. So we have had, quite a bit of stormy weather and stuff like that, which I feel is unusual for this time of the year to have so many storms.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
Not rain. I'm talking about storms.
No, that's right, because of the high. So basically, as you know, storm is created by high pressure. So because it has been warm, that's created high pressure, which is now why you got storms now.
Yeah,
it's quite usual to have a storm sort of May, June, July time, especially if it has been sunny like it has. But anyway,
rainbow has appeared.
Another one. There's us saying it's rare, and we've had one for the last 2 lives.
Yeah.
So this week, what have we got planned?
So basically, because of the Queen's Jubilee, we are going to we've decided to do a brunch. So we're doing a brunch it's a small one. So normally when we do something, it's quite big. The whole family are invited and all of this type of stuff. But we said, no, we're just going to do a small gathering, very small. And we're going to do it in the garden. And so it is all weather dependent, really, because if the weather...
Well, this is it. I mean, one thing we do like with doing barbecues, all outside eating, is the fact that everybody's outside.
Yeah.
Now, we've done inside eating as well for your family in November. And the trouble is everyone has to then come inside. So our house just isn't big enough to accommodate that many people. So I think we prefer doing it outside just purely because you can accommodate more people. So that's what we're hoping. Otherwise, the other thing, of course, if it's all wet, people drag that in and out the house. So we're hoping it'll be a lot nice and warm.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Our downstairs can accommodate because we have had lots of people here. We have. So it can accommodate this small number in our living room because we've had loads more. But basically we've done sort of like makeshift tables. So, we've had our normal table, which seats about 6 people comfortably. Well, it seats 8 people comfortably, but it's meant to be for 6. And so we've had that before. And then we've put a garden table with chairs and things like that and sort of like made do, and like we've stretched out the table and everything else. So we have had a lot more people here. I mean, how many did we host that Christmas? Sure, that was about 20.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah. So as me saying no, but we do have the capacity to do it.
We do. It's just that we have to move things around.
It's much easier to do it outside.
It's
that was the point I was trying to make.
So much easier to do it outside. And so we've had conflicting information with regards to what it's going to be on Friday.
I know. Now, I'm just going to check the weather because I am pretty sure. Now, I checked the Alexa app, and the Alexa app said it was going to rain Thursday and Friday. But
the Alexa app is always wrong, I feel. I just want to take a photo of this rainbow and show you guys. I mean, it's amazing.
Right, let me just check while you're doing that. I'm going to check the weather.
And I'm going to show you.
You can see our street. Oh, wow.
Look at that rainbow. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It looks amazing. And I just thought, do you know what? I must take a picture and show you.
Well, no, Thursday and Friday are supposed to be nice, according to BBC.
According to the BBC. And to be fair, I do the BBC, for me, mostly get it right. I think I've seen some and they don't get it right that often.
No, exactly. So there you go. So I'm hoping as well. And for you guys, I hope you have a really, really, really nice Jubilee weekend.
Yeah.
I hope it gets sunny. Do bear in mind, though, according to the BBC website, now I'm just doing London, but it is supposed to be rainy on the Sunday.
Yes. So even tomorrow, I can't believe. Look how amazing that rainbow is.
Oh wow, it's huge.
I've never seen a rainbow that bright before.
It's the same one that we showed you just a moment.
Just a moment, but because the sun is out as well, because the sun's trying to come out. It's just made it so vibrant. I've never, because normally I see it over there. I don't see it over there, but that is the brightest rainbow I think I've ever seen. I've never seen a brighter rainbow than that.
So look at that. Last time we had 2 rainbows. This time we got the brightest rainbow.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. Oh, no, it's 2 rainbows.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2. You have that one there and you have that one there.
Oh, yeah, there
It's
is.
2
Another
rainbows.
double rainbow.
Another double rainbow. We're very, very lucky.
Charlie, hello.
Hey, Charlie. How are you?
How are you?
Well?
You good? We said. Oh, and Charlie, I've been checking. How was Fantasy Island, or are you there still? Checking out your little videos as well. I'm sorry. I was going to apologise, but I'm sorry to see the weather. The weather looked quite wet where you are, but yeah, I hope you have a good time, and I hope you're enjoying it.
If there's one thing I can't stand, I've got to say it's the rain.
Oh yeah.
I feel like with the rain, you're wet and you're soggy, and this is so I don't enjoy the rain. But I do love seeing the rainbows after, and I can tell you, I don't think I've seen as many rainbows from as many storms as I have in the last few weeks, because I remember doing another live and talking about I remember 2 other lives and I was talking about rainbows, and it's so vibrant, it's so lovely. There we go. So
sorry, I was going to say, Charlie said it's chaos in the show bar in Skegness. Oh really?
Oh, wow.
Is it? Are you in Ingold Mells as well? Have you been to Ingold Mells? Because I'm sure I saw that in one of your videos. You were going to Ingold Mells, but when you say it's chaos, is it just really, really packed, or is it just the fact that it's just bucketing with rain?
Either or, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So what has everyone got planned for the Jubilee? I know there are some street parties. I'd love. My cousin's going to go to a street party, and I really would love to go to a street party. I've never been to one. I did mention this before, but the last time I went to a street party, I would have been about 4 or 5.
Well, no one's organised them. Well, certainly not that I'm aware of. I would be shocked if suddenly this street was, because they would have to. But to be honest with you, no one on this street is going to bother to organise it.
No, because they'd have to block the road off.
Yeah, exactly.
And they would have had to have warned us, because obviously we've got cars and stuff like that. So they would have had to have warned us that they were blocking off the street. But because you would have to apply for an application in order to do that. But yeah. So we put out the Rosa Pomodoro video. Was it last week? Yeah, last week.
Yeah, that was for my birthday. So you would have seen that where I had hey Ray.
Hey Ray.
How are you? Oh, and how, we'll ask you in a minute, but I'll give you plenty of time to respond. How was it on Sunday? And happy birthday, by the way.
Yes, happy birthday.
Charlie said, I'm at Park Dean Holiday Park.
Wow.
Is that
sounds good?
Is that Ingold Mells? Because your video said Ingold Mells, so I didn't know if that's the same place. But I didn't realise. I didn't know you were at Park Dean. I hope you're having a good time. Well, apart from the weather.
Yeah.
I hope that is a bit better.
Well, it might be sunny up there.
No, not according to your video.
Oh right, I see. And so yeah, so we did the Rosa Pomodoro. I think we speak about the pizzas and stuff in the last video.
Yes, we did. So we did say we would upload that one as well.
So the next video, which I finished today, but I just didn't have time because now I can't. Before I could upload straight from the software package which I edit on. So from the editing package, I could upload straight to YouTube, but I can't do that now. Now I have to export the video and then upload it. So I can't do that anymore. And it takes so long to export the video, and then it takes so long to upload the video, because now YouTube do all their checks and things. I mean, they've always done that, to be fair. They do the checks to see if you for any copyright issues, and so there is music. So in the Rosa Pomodoro one, part of it, they found that there was copyright issues. So then I had to put the music up a little bit louder, so the music that I lay on top. So sometimes in videos, if you can't hear us, it will be for 2 reasons. One, because of the background music, because in some of these places the music is so loud.
Well, actual fact, we would appreciate feedback from you guys, so please do leave it in the comments. did you find it easy enough to understand what we were saying? So Kelly and I had this big debate when we were uploading that video for the Rosa Pomodoro. For those of you who've seen it, could you hear us and could you understand what we were saying? We were really worried that it wasn't coming across really clear. So we had some ideas of perhaps, because we don't have a microphone basically that we can attach to the camera.
Yeah.
So either we're going to have to go outside and eat outside when the weather's nice, or we'll end up just having to sort of mouth that we're enjoying it and then do a voiceover.
Yeah.
Ray said it was horrific. Oh no, Ray. It was like being in a kid's playground. We had a little boy on the next table jumping up and down on the table. It's half term, so it's full of families. The food was okay. I've had better. Oh no. Oh, Charlie asked where you were. Yeah, he said Birmingham. Oh, and congratulations on your 250, Charlie. Well done.
Wow.
Quarter of the century. Oh, Ray. Oh, I'm so. Do you know what you should do? Right, Ray.
Should have a do-over.
I want you to book something else, write that off, and then go and have another one. Treat yourself, because you deserve a nice meal. I'll tell you a story actually very, very quickly. So I went with my parents for a Topic. I went round to see them this is pre-pandemic. And we went, I won't name the place, but we did go to a pub that served roast dinner and buff dinner. And this family turned up. And it was about about 2 or 3 families in the next table. And all they were doing, they kept buffering my poor dad. So they barged like this. And the woman,
I vaguely remember you telling me.
And the woman would stand, one of the women would stand with her back to my dad like this. And then,
I would have said something.
Well, no, I know you would have. But my dad looked at this one guy, was just shaking his head. And he goes, I'm getting buffeted here.
Yeah.
And the family didn't even do anything. And eventually he told one of the boys that was just running around. But I think the trouble is some parents just see it as a chance just to let their kids run free and just say, well, they're not my responsibility now. They can do as they please. Ray said, we had a lovely day on the Saturday. We went shopping and for food. Right. Well, at least you had that. But I'm really sorry, though, to hear that. I mean, there's nothing worse when you book something. You just want a good time.
Yeah. And
it's spoiled. It was a Chinese buffet we went to, and there was we went there for an hour and went. So when you said the Chinese buffet, was that for the Sunday, or did you do the roast on the Sunday? Or was the buffet on the Saturday? I still think you should treat yourself, because that will just leave not a bad taste.
No, I mean, I think the thing is, I think it's been and done now, and I think what you just need to do is write it off, and then go and treat yourself to something else, like maybe a little bit of a pamper day or something like that.
Oh, the Sunday was the buffet.
Right.
So that's when you went for your Chinese buffet.
Yeah. Just write it off. And, it was one of those experiences, write it off, and then do something like, a little nice pamper somewhere where there isn't kids, maybe. But in saying that, I went for a spa. It was a spa stay with my friend it was a couple of years ago now. And there were loads of kids in the pool. Like, they had this pool thing, because in a spa, you expect there to be a separate pool for the spa. Right? For adults to enjoy and things like that. But there were loads of kids. Don't get me wrong. I think kids should enjoy the pool. Sometimes the reason why you go to... Kids love a pool. So I highly think that... But I just think they should have had 2 pools. 2 pools. One for the kids. And the way that it was accessed, the pool, it was for everybody. So it wasn't directly for the spa. It was for everybody at the hotel. So it wasn't really, that relaxing sort of thing that you want when you go for a spa weekend.
Ray says, Saturday we had homemade cottage pie and homemade honeycomb cheesecake. Oh, wow, which was delicious. Well, I'm glad you got to enjoy that. Ray said, I don't mind kids, but keep them under control. Do you know what? I have noticed that. My parents were quite strict. So when we went out, you were expected to set the table, no noise, and you just eat, as if you were under control. But I've seen it many times as well in a restaurant where kids will run around and their parents just pretend that they haven't spotted them. But you think to yourself, now it's all very well you letting your kids do that, but everybody else has got to put up with it.
Yeah.
And it's not a mock crash, a restaurant.
We never really went to restaurants when I was growing up. It wasn't something that my family did. But the odd restaurants that we did go to, which would have been in Chinatown, because sometimes my uncle, we'd go, we weren't allowed to get up from the table.
No,
we were not allowed to get up from the table.
No, but that's what I see as well. I see kids. They'll go under the table. They'll hide under
around the table,
run around the restaurant, and you look at their parents. Are you really?
People bargaining with their children. If you sit down,
I'll give you this. I was saying,
and I think, okay,
yeah,
it's an interesting approach.
Let me negotiate with you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, a little boy got told off by his father, and the little boy started hitting his dad. I was so shocked.
When I was growing up, my mum would just look at me, and then you just.
Do you know what? I will. There's a guy I know. Again, I'm not going to say his name because he told me this story. He said that his son at the time was 6, and he said his friend came over to stay, and he goes, "I was shocked by his dad. His dad came to pick him up. Goes, can you put your shoes on? Oh, please put your shoes on. Oh, this obviously picking up his son, not obviously my friend's son." And he was like, "Oh, please put your shoes on." And he said, my friend was sitting there looking at him going, just tell him to put his shoes on. You're the adult. What are you negotiating for? Oh, hello, Richard.
Hey,
Richard Harris, how are you? Well-behaved kids are a reflection of good parenting. That's absolutely true. That is absolutely. Your brother always says that because you represent me, doesn't he? When he said to your nephews, only had to give a look to Kelly to my children. Yeah.
That's how my mum was up, and you just.
Yeah, you would behave. Yeah, because I would get that as well. And if you didn't carry on, that was your warning. You are in so much trouble if you carry on.
I was never.
How are you, by the way, Richard? I hope you're well.
I was never smacked as a child. Really, I think I got from off the top of my head, and I know that it's a touchy subject, smacking and things like that. But I can only remember twice where I was smacked, just twice. But we grew up in a time where caning was just leaving school as I got to the juniors. So you in our time, it wasn't first year, second year, third year, fourth. It was like you had your primary school and you had the juniors, and then you would go to secondary school. And I remember when I got to the first year of the juniors, caning was just leaving
same
schools.
here.
So
same here. So we're at that age where it was just leaving. But my cousin, who's 5 years older than me, he got caned.
Wow.
He got caned at school. Charlie said my mum is called Kelly. The best ladies are. Richard said, doing great. Good to see you both. Yeah, good to see you too. Watched your Toby breakfast video this morning.
Oh, wow. I hope you enjoyed it.
No, I hope you did enjoy it. I must say, actually, I do enjoy a Toby Carvery breakfast. It's one of those things, though, you do have to get prepped for because the size of but for value for money is fantastic.
Yeah, I think to me, there's not much choice
Less for me.
Well, not really, because it's only bacon and sausage you can't eat, right? So he's saying there's less for me. Well, he gets vegetarian sausages, so and you make very good things.
Thank you, Richard. He said it was great.
Oh, thank you. There's a breakfast place that I've seen. It's quite expensive, but I just wanted to go and check it out. It's in London, so it's one of them ones on my mind, thinking, do you know what, we need to go and try it and check out this breakfast. So we are going to check it out. It is pricey, but the plethora of choice, it looked like there was so much choice. So I'm not going to reveal too much, just to let you know it is pricey, but it's a plethora thing of breakfast, and I think you're gonna.
Well, for that price, I hope so.
I think he's going to enjoy it.
We were wanting to look at different sort of price ranges, really, because obviously we've done the carving, which is very, very good value for money.
Yeah, so very good.
We want to sort of compare it to something which is much more expensive, and again, just to see if it's worth the value. But
and see what you get.
Yeah, but I've got to say, come on, for the price you pay, you get a very good selection. What is it, $7.99?
I think it's. I think it's even less than $7.99. I think it's $4.99 and then extra for drinks.
Right, and so you get that for $7.99. Now, if you think about it, you could not make that for that price.
Yeah.
The pack of sausages and a pack of bacon alone would cost you probably around about that price.
Yeah.
Or maybe eggs as well. But like I said, and the fact that you can have bacon, eggs, sausage,
tomatoes, beans,
Yorkshire pudding, hash browns. I've never had a Yorkshire pudding before breakfast, so that was quite interesting.
Mushrooms,
toast, unlimited toast. So it really is good value for money. And if you cannot be bothered to cook, it's really cheap way of doing it.
I don't think they have cereal though, do they? I've not seen cereal there. I don't think they have cereal, or do they?
Yes, they do. They do.
I'll have to double check our video.
I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they do. But it's only like 1 or 2 brands. Your breakfast on TikTok looked delicious, said Ray Ray.
Oh, thank you. We went to so basically me and a friend. So basically 4 of us were meant to be meeting. It only ended up to be 2 of us. And originally we weren't going for brunch. We were meeting somewhere else because another friend, she lives quite far away. And she's got children. We were all going to go down there to make it easier for her. Unfortunately, it got cancelled. So just the 2 of us ended up. And I said, well, she was like, oh, let's do brunch. I was like, all right, cool. And once she had brunch in her mind, she couldn't deviate from brunch. So we hadn't booked anywhere because we thought, you know what, we'll just check out a few places. And I've got a local park. She really likes the local park. She wanted to walk through it. So we walked through the local park and then ended up at one of the local towns. And then we were like, right, okay. So we went to restaurant to restaurant to restaurant to restaurant, looking for this brunch that she desperately wanted to have. She had been dreaming of avocado. Even though she had avocado in her fridge, she still wanted to have avocado out. So I was just like, do you know what? It's 12 o'clock. I think we're late for brunch. A lot of the brunches were bottomless brunches, and I'm not really a drinker. Don't get me wrong. I like a pina colada. I like a little cocktail here and there, but I like ones where you can't taste the alcohol. I like, if I'm going to have an alcoholic cocktail, I want it to enhance the drink, not be, so I'm not, and I don't really drink Prosecco. I don't drink champagne. So all these bottomless brunches are no good unless it's bottomless soft drinks. Then I'm all right. And so we went to another place. So after about 6 or 7 restaurants that we checked along the way, and they only either did 2-course bottomless brunch or just normal food. We found a place and they did an all-day brunch. So we were able to go there. It wasn't bottom. They do bottomless ones, but we didn't go for the bottomless one. We just went for our normal one. And then we had 2 non-coladas, so no alcohol in the. So they gave us in the mason jug, which is the picture that you see at the end. And they were so they were just non-alcoholic pina coladas. But I am going to make alcoholic pina coladas on
the brunch.
For the brunch.
Now, Richard asks, and this is right up my street. I'm glad you asked this, Richard. He said, have you tried any breakfast places in the US? Pancakes are popular here. We have tried quite a few places in the US. I'm like, do you know what? It's one of my favorite things to do in America is have breakfast. Richard said, I found a new drink over Memorial Day weekend. It's called a ranch water. Tequila, lime, Topo Chio. Is it Topo Chio? Sparkling water. Oh, okay.
Never heard of that.
Ranch water, which is tequila, lime, and Topo Chio.
Do you know what? My friend Evelyn, she really likes her alcohol strong, like really strong. She likes things like Tom Collins and Long Island iced tea. And she does like tequila. I think that would be right up her street.
Right, now let's talk about the breakfast, because and I do want to talk about that because he asked, and I was trying to get in there while you were talking about your brunch. Now, I'm joking. So, Richard, we tried loads. Now, I love my favorite place to have breakfast, and it's only the place we've been is Vegas. So Vegas has got all the buffets. You've got all those unlimited things. Absolutely fantastic. What I do love about American breakfast, as you said, is the pancakes. So I don't know if you've seen my video, I did do the Walking Dead pancake recipe from the Walking Dead cookbook. And that was one of my favorite ones I've tried. I've done quite a few recipes from the States, or attempted them, but that was the best one. And that was using buttermilk rather than regular milk, and eggs. And but yeah, interestingly enough, very small amount of sugar and no vanilla extract, which is a lot of the American recipes do add in. So my favorite, what would you say is your favorite bits? I love the hash browns in America, love the pancakes, love the fact you have maple syrup with those as well. Obviously I don't go for the sausage and bacon because that's I'm veggie, but you don't like the American bacon. But I've got to say, I also do love as well, though I didn't try the biscuits and gravy. I did have the biscuits, which is quite nice to have with the thing. Love the scrambled egg, which is what a big thing as well. And I love the little tater tots that they do for breakfast, which is one thing I love. And I've tried to incorporate some of that back when I do my breakfasts. There's another, it's almost like it's like a ratatouille that I noticed in the US. So it's almost like peppers, and I think they mix it, it may be a Mexican thing, which they mix with mushrooms, almost like chopped vegetables they have as well. And they have that with sometimes they have that with the eggs.
Right.
That was really nice. Huevos ranchos is what I did, the vegetarian version of that, which I enjoyed. You can see how much I'm enjoying this because I'm reeling it off. It's hard. Is it hard being vegetarian? I've been debating going veggie. Oh, interesting. Well,
I think it's easier now if you wanted to go vegetarian than before.
Absolutely. I was going to say, I've not struggled with it at all. When I say vegetarian, I'm pescatarian, so I do eat fish. Okay, so I've got to throw that out there. However, I could easily go veggie completely. As Kelly said,
he would miss oysters, and you would miss lobster,
and I would miss fish. But I've not eaten pork, chicken, beef for 20 years. So 20 years. So I've not missed it at all. It does take a while to get used to. And even when I smell meat cooking, I think, oh, that does smell good. But I wouldn't be tempted at it.
Yeah.
I did find it harder, though, interesting enough, to get, and bear in mind, we haven't been to the States for 2 years. I did find it harder to get veggie food in the US than the UK, funny enough. Now, that might be because it's 2 years ago. There's always pescatarian menus. It may have changed in the last 2 years, but in the UK, actually, especially in London, it's very easy to get a veggie option. What used to irritate me back 22 years ago when I first decided to go veggie, what used to irritate me was you go into a restaurant, and the one thing I can't stand is quiche. I don't like quiche, and the veggie option was always bloody veggie quiche each and every time. I think, oh God, I don't want quiche. So that would be my only option, but it has improved. That, or you'd have two options: veggie quiche or veggie burger.
Yeah, I was about to say veggie burger.
And the veggie burger would just taste like a really cheap own supermarket brand. So very dry. It's a cross between very small amounts of vegetables crushed up with breadcrumbs to just spit it out. Was never tasty.
What did you make at home when you did veggie?
I just ate vegetables and then cook them in, like, I do veggie curry. I did a lot of veggie chili. So basically, instead of the meat,
you never did that when I came round.
No. So no. But yeah, so I would substitute the meat with that. Ray said, "I love a bacon sandwich with brown sauce." I couldn't give that. Well,
I like toasted. I don't like the bread. See, because the thing is, I have a problem with anything soggy. So the bread always has to be toasted. So bacon toasted sandwich. How much do I love a bacon?
Yeah, I always get that. Can you make? I think, oh no, I'm bacon working. Toasted sandwich. But I've got to say, going back to the veggie thing. So it's a lot easier now. There's a lot more choice.
There's a lot more choice.
When I go into a restaurant as well, I think before, like I said, it would literally be one, if you're lucky, 2 options. This is going back 20 years ago. And that's why I never bother going out, because I just think, oh God, I don't want quiche. Kerry goes, have the quiche. I don't want quiche.
I've never once said have the quiche.
Well, maybe his other friends as well would say, just have the quiche. I don't want quiche. I don't like quiche. I didn't come all this way to have quiche. But now you can have a wider range of it. And there's something now, I think, actually, I don't mind that. And I don't mind that. And that actually looks nice.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I think, oh, great. I love the burger. Let me guess, quiche or bean burger. All right, yeah. But now I can have that.
Yeah.
Why did you go veggie? I hope you don't mind me asking. Well, actual fact, no, I don't mind at all. So I did it mainly at the beginning for health reasons. So I was, as you know, I used to be not massively overweight, but I was overweight. And then by giving up meat, just purely for me, and this worked for me, I found myself a lot healthier. So I was able to, I lost weight. I felt better at the time. And I just wanted to see how, health is your reason too. Yeah. So
and drinking is you.
Oh yeah. And I gave up boozing as well, because I just wanted to do onto a health kick. And I started doing it, and for the first year, it was a bit. The first year was a bit on and off. No, I'd say not the first year. The first 6 months was a bit on and off. So I thought my thing was I'll go cold turkey. That's it. No booze, no more. And I didn't. I sort of lapsed a few times, had meat a few times. But after the 6 month, that was it. I thought, no. You've got to commit to this. You either do it or you don't. You can't be halfway in, halfway out. So then I did. I went fully into it, and then I did find it. The only thing I would be wary of as well, you do go a bit paler, but I do think that's a psychological piece. Oh, you look pale. I said, no, I don't. And then
no, you don't, but I do. You're the only vegetarian that I know who isn't pale.
But yeah, so just be wary. You do now. I get is your protein source. You've got to be wary of your protein source. So you can find it, especially if you go vegan. That's really difficult in terms of your protein. So you can get it if you don't go vegan. You can obviously get it from milk, cheese, eggs, and all dairy products as well. But you can also get it from spinach, and chickpeas is the veggie's friend.
Yeah. I have a school of thought on paleness, I suppose, or skin, because I think a lot of vegetarians, they decide to become vegetarian from a very young age. So normally it's roughly from around the age of 7 or 8 upwards, right? Where people, sometimes it's at 12, but normally it's around 7 or 8 where children think about animals and they don't want to eat animals and all of that type of stuff. And so your body hasn't had a chance to fully develop, your skin and all that. Whereas you sort of did it quite late. So you'd already had the meat, you'd had the protein, you'd gained colour in your skin. You'd been on holiday where you could tan and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of other vegetarians that I know, they didn't do it late. They did it quite early. So they sort of thought about it around 7 or 8. So I think that's probably why you're the only vegetarian that I know that isn't pale.
Now, Ray said, I don't eat eggs. Oh, wow. Or cow's milk. And that's only since my daughter has been vegan.
Wow.
Do you find that difficult? Because also with vegan as well, it's anything that's involved with an animal. So people don't always realise that includes honey.
Yeah.
So that can be quite difficult as well. So it's actually no dairy. So no eggs, butter, cheese, milk. You can obviously meats as well. No milk of any variety, including goat or anything like that. And
so
also
difficult.
Any cheeses. And of course, like I say, honey as well. Honey was the one that always got me. I thought, oh God, yeah, I forget because it's from an animal.
Yeah.
Ray said some great recipes using chickpeas. Yes, there are. But
even egg whites, like you can make up egg whites with the chickpea juice.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Because the other thing is as well, remember, especially Indian recipes, because a lot of Indian recipes as well a lot of Indians are vegetarians. So there's a lot of curry recipes that are vegetarian as well.
If you're into curry though, you might not be into curry.
No, that's one, but you can always substitute meat with something.
Yeah,
you can get stuff like corn if you want to. I mean, I just tend to just put extra vegetables as the substitute for that.
Yeah, there's lots of plant burgers now. You like the plant burger from M&S?
Yeah,
that's pretty much the only one that you like though.
Well, as a fact, to be fair, it's got a lot better. Again, 20 years ago, the veggie burgers were naff. They were they've improved massively. So I remember, again, I'm not going to say brands, but I mean, I used to get them from certain supermarkets, and they were like cardboard. They were totally tasteless, and they were just literally constituted like egg, just flavored slightly, and then and it was not pleasant. And they were really fattening as well because they just used like I don't know what they used, but it just pumped up. So now the quality's a lot better.
Yeah, I think so because the education is there really with regards to recipes and things like that. I think because in Europe, when we used to go to places like France or Belgium, it's very difficult for you to find food. It's very difficult to find vegetarian dishes.
That is true, actually. I mean,
the most vegetarian probably would be pizza.
Well, the funny thing is, sorry, I'll get to a comment. I was just going to say I think I've told this story before, but I remember I went to a Turkish restaurant once and I asked for a veggie kebab. So of course the guy was going to chuck the because they do this with the pita bread. Obviously, they put the kebab in the pita bread. He was going to chuck the pita bread on the hot coals. Of course, that's the same one where they put the meat. And I said, oh, no, do you mind not doing that? Because I'm vegetarian. And he went, huh? And I explained it again. He went, oh, okay. So he just cut it open. Obviously, didn't heat up their pita bread. So, of course, his colleague next to him obviously asked him in Turkish, what was wrong? And he explained it in Turkish. He doesn't want it because he's vegetarian. The guy looked at him and went, ha, 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 ha. So he found it hilarious. I was vegetarian and didn't want that. He just found that funny.
Because like I just think a lot of people, it's just very difficult, I think, for people to get the concept of you have to have a separate prep station.
Yeah.
Because I have a suspicion, I've had a long suspicion that a lot of restaurants don't have separate utensils. They don't do it separately.
So Ray said, yeah, my daughter being vegan always says to her, you need to have some red meat. She's very pale. Ray said, I make her take vitamins as I worry she doesn't have enough with her food. Yeah. I don't know if she likes it, but the best plant for her to have, she really wants to do nuts and plant, but is spinach. Spinach is the closest plant to meat in terms of iron and vitamins. That's the closest you can get. What's nice, I don't know if was it Barefoot Contessa. I don't know if you ever watch her. Richard, you might do because she's an American cook. And what she does is she takes great lumps of spinach and she chops up garlic first of all, fries that in the pan and adds the spinach. And there's that combo of spinach and garlic is amazing. And you have that as a bed and you put something else on top, whatever it is you want to eat. But spinach might be really good for her, just filling in those vitamins. Because again, iron's going to be really difficult for your daughter because iron isn't really natural, apart from spinach, in any plant. It's natural in meat.
I think that even when you have replacements of meat, it's very much vitamins aren't as good as what the actual product is. You know, like things like vitamin C. And don't get me wrong, I do have vitamin C because I know full well I don't get enough vitamin C with a good range of diet. But I also believe that a vitamin C tablet is not as good as an orange or however many oranges that you have to have, or tangerines. So again, when you're doing a substitute of spinach, it's not going to be as good as, let's say, a steak. I'm not talking about taste wise. I'm talking about vitamin wise.
Yeah, but
it's not. I know
if you've got no option, that is the closest you've got. Exactly. Miss Moreau, how are you?
Hello.
We were just talking about vegetarianism and what to eat.
Hope you're well.
Yeah, hope you're well. How are things? You good? Richard said, sorry, Richard, I missed your comment. Yeah, Marks and Spencer's chicken sandwich. I remember trying it years ago when we visited Nottingham. Better than US supermarket sandwiches. Or what was her name again? He said the American cook, Barefoot Contessa. I forget her name, but she's got a show called The Barefoot.
Yeah,
Contessa.
I think I know the one. Is she the larger lady?
Yeah, that's right.
I know. So we have a Food Network channel here.
Yeah.
And it's all American. So you get the odd UK one, but that's more in the evening rather than during the day. So there's 3 cooks that are on during the day. One of them is the Barefoot Contessa, and I can't remember who the other 2 are. And you know, they all have their big kitchens and stuff like as you do in the US, but we have tiny kitchens here. And I would love a big kitchen.
Yeah. So Kelly, I want your ears, says Miss Moreau. Oh, and she's put the little sticky things.
Thank you. I really like them. I'm feeling a bit cold today, so I've got a little.
But it does combo really, really well. Yeah, they've gone for the little lollipops.
Yeah, I like the thing is it looks like a sweet.
Yeah, it does.
But it's hard, so it's not soft like.
Yeah, they are quite cool.
Yeah, they're not soft like normal is. But yeah, I really like.
Can I talk about your video that you're going to do, or do you want to keep?
Oh yeah, no, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so Kelly's actually, she's been talking about doing it for ages. So she started to film the first. She's got so many ears now. She's going to have to do it in batches. So she will start the first video on her ear collection, which we will upload quite soon. But just to let you guys know, Ray said, I take a handful of vitamins daily. I'm low on everything.
Yeah, I can imagine I am. To be fair,
Miss Monroe wants to eat them. Maybe there go. Do you know what? I think I told you this story in Vegas when we went many years ago. They had these sort of mock cakes. They look like cakes, but they're all made of sponge. They look so lifelike.
Oh yeah.
And they're actually fridge magnets. But we bought a load because they look so realistic. I was chatting to the guy that was there, who was serving them, and he said, "Yeah, I've had to put them all on the top shelves because he said children see them, they come and they take a massive. They're all foam, and they take a massive bite out of them. So I've had to, yeah, thinking it's real. So they've had to put them up the top, and they look so appetizing, and they look really realistic. They look like actual cakes.
I want to talk about so I want to go back to the breakfast question.
Okay.
I don't like the American bacon. I prefer the Canadian back bacon. That's the sort of type of bacon I love. I don't like my bacon crispy, but to be fair, we weren't brought up on crispy bacon.
Well, I was going to say, sorry, just quickly there, Richard, what you obviously would have tried American bacon there. Which do you prefer, or do you not have a preference? Anyway, sorry.
So, when I was younger, and we went to Florida quite a lot, and up and down International Drive, you had Ponderosa,
yeah,
and you had Sizzler. Those were the two places where you could go and get a buffet breakfast. We've also been to Denny's, and for me, Denny's is okay. But you quite liked Denny's, didn't you?
Do you know what I like about Denny's is it's, like I said, it's a good decent sized portion as well. It's good value for money, and the choice is good. I just love American breakfast. I've got to say, I mean, I one thing I wish we had there is the choice. We don't really have that here. And British back bacon is way better.
Yeah, I like the thick cut one as well. But yeah, so we have like sausages, like a lot of places where you go to, especially in the UK, and you go for sausages, they're catering sausages, so like these plain cheap sausages, and I'm not about that. I like my sausages like, if it can't be 100%, at least 98% pork. I don't want to eat anything else. I want to eat the pork. We're very lucky because M&S do not, their sausages are 98%, and obviously over the years my body tends to reject a lot of stuff, so there's like I wouldn't be able to eat what is it, Sunpat peanut butter. Is that the normal brand that we have here? Sunpat
we do get Sunpat here,
yeah. And so, but I can't eat Sunpat peanut butter because it's just full of palm oil and God knows what.
So I just laughed at Richard's comment. He said many restaurants here cook bacon to a crisp. Yuck.
I'm not a lover of it. I'm not about that. And so yeah, so things like Sunpat peanut butter and things like that, too much oil and things like that in it. But whole earth peanut butter, I can eat that. It's 98% peanuts. I don't think you can go wrong with something that is 98% of whatever. So we tend to have whole earth, and you just normally eat it. I get him
by the spoon.
I get him the crunchy one, and I like the smooth one. The smooth one is actually still locked. I've had it there for ages. But you like the crunchy one, so he normally tends to eat that, or the crunchy Biscoff one spread you like as well.
Well, this is the thing. So going with the breakfast, throwing at you, what do you guys like to have as a breakfast? Now I know that's a bit of a broad question. I suppose it depends on your mood. But if you were someone to say to you, I'm going to take you out for breakfast, and I found a place that does whatever you want from anywhere around the world, what would you have? What would you treat yourself to? So I suppose I'm just trying to find out what would be your ideal type of breakfast.
Yeah, I think the other
PB&J sandwiches.
Do you know what? I really do like that on toast. So peanut butter and jam, I love it on toast. I would eat that. Yeah, it's beautiful. I also like cream cheese. If I get fed up of, so when we go to we like to stay at the Homewood Suites when we go to Florida, when we stay on the International Drive, and when I get fed up of the breakfast, which is probably after day 4, I then tend to have toast with cream cheese. But I know the bread is full of sugar. So again, I'll have 2 slices. But because we're going to be walking in the park, I then build up my appetite. Whereas Mark has a massive...
Neha, how are you?
Hi, Neha.
We were just talking about your favourite breakfast, what you like to have for breakfast. People are just telling us what they enjoy.
Well, yeah.
How are you, by the way? You okay?
I hope you're well. And I like to have, but yeah, my breakfast, I like to have a choice, but I don't like to do, what do you call it, buffet every day, but you do. You like buffet every day. Mark likes the choice and stuff like that. But yeah, I like the Ponderosa and I like Sizzler. But if we're talking, because when we went to Vegas, the breakfast that I liked in Vegas, we mainly went for brunch rather than breakfast, and Wicked Spoon.
Sorry, just quickly. Nahar said you came up on my recommend while I'm revising, so I thought I'd come and say hi and then need to write. Oh, thank you for saying hi, and I hope the revision's going well.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see you are revising, and I know you'll do well.
Don't stress.
Yes,
take it all in and be calm,
and you'll be good.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
I'm sure you will be. But yeah, so we in the UK, what's the best breakfast place you've been to in the UK?
So for me, I've got to say, I am, although I do the veggie thing, I do love a full English breakfast, but veggie style. So basically substituting the sausages for veggie sausages. I don't substitute the bacon. I just basically have something. Oh no, we are going to talk about Stranger Things. We are very excited as well. So Nahar said, I'm so excited for Stranger Things season 4 to come out.
It's already out because my cousin's been watching it.
Watch it, Nahar.
So it's already there. We've not started it yet.
No, we are going to start it.
But we are going to start it soon.
We are going to start it very, very soon because I do want to catch up on that. Richard said, what British food do you miss the most while you're traveling in the US? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to do the same for you because you are in the US. Right. So for me, you're only on season 2. Or make sure you watch season 3 because season 3 is really worth watching. And for anybody else as well, we do recommend Stranger Things. It's absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. Jonathan is so hot.
there was a show that I was watching recently, and I finished it. Smoke and Bone, Shadow and Bone. I do recommend Shadow and Bone, by the way. So if anybody's got Netflix and you want to watch Shadow and Bone, I recommend it.
She said, actually, they're all hot. What, even the little boy?
Well, they'll be her age.
Oh yeah, this is true.
They'll be her age. What foods do we miss?
Ray said, I watched Stranger Things season 4.
Yes.
You've seen it. I binged with my daughter. Please don't tell us.
Don't tell us anything because we want to be surprised. I mean, we're going to be finishing 10 minutes early tonight anyway because we want to watch Bake Off. So Bake Off the Professionals. I don't know if anybody watched it last
Richard,
week.
I will come on to your food thing, but Richard now asked, what is Stranger Things about?
Wow. Okay.
Now, without ruining it.
It's an American program, so I'm quite surprised. It has Winona Ryder, and what's his name? Hopper. I don't know what Hopper's name is.
Nahar, I'm just removing your message just in case it spoils anything. That's the only reason why.
Oh, right. Oh, Nahar said something that...
Yeah, spot. And Kelly will go mad if you ruin it.
Yeah, I don't want... Luckily, I ain't got my glasses on. So I think... and it basically, it's a bunch of kids, almost like the Goonies, I suppose.
Yeah.
And they like adventures and stuff like that. They like playing games, games like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And it's what do you call it?
Try and condense it.
No, what type of thriller is it?
So basically, it's about a group of boys that are all friends as well. And they're the geeky type. They all hang out together.
Supernatural thriller.
And they all live basically in a town, but something strange happens in the town, and they can't fathom out why. And as they investigate further and further and further and further, they see something weirder and weirder and weirder is happening in this town.
Yeah. And what's good about it is that it's done by two brothers who grew up in the 80s, and they've based it on like an 80s type vision.
Yeah.
So like very much like E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, is it? And
yeah.
So they based it around things like that. So it's very watchable, very good.
No, I didn't know that. It was just a theory. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Right, okay. But I thought you knew something. That was why.
Blacklist, yes. I didn't. For some reason, I have forgotten the last episodes, because it's season 9 now at the moment. Is it, or is it season 8? But anyway, whichever's the latest season of the last season, I can't remember the last 3 episodes. So I wanted to go back and watch the last 3 episodes. And our TV package won't. So we need to upgrade or something to watch it. And I'm like, what? Because so basically I cancelled the HD. So we can still watch HD live, but we can't go back and watch HD. But we can with all the other programs, but we just download it as SD rather than HD, standard definition.
Right. So so Ray asked, what do you think of Stacey Solomon presenting the Bake Off the Professionals?
I think, don't get me wrong, I love Stacey Solomon and I think she's a great presenter. However, I think it needs to be a comedian, and I think there were several comedians that I was thinking of that should have taken over that, and one of them was Sarah Millican. I think Sarah Millican would have been a really good presenter to take over that, and I think the way she would have commented on the food would have been really good.
Yeah.
Who's the guy with the blonde hair and the teeth that I always forget?
Rob Beckett, you thought?
Rob Beckett, I think, would have been a good choice. What's his name? Baptiste. I forget something Baptiste. I think he would have been a good one as well.
I'm the same. She's a lovely lady. I've got nothing against her at all, but
Yeah.
I don't think that was the best presenter you could have got
for Bake Off.
Yeah. 80 songs are the best original. I totally agree. And as Ray said as well, the 80s soundtrack is fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you watch it now, Nahar's obviously a bit too young for the 80s, but you will take you back to it because the whole style is very 80s. It's fantastic to watch. Think Knight Rider, Fall Guy, A-Team, all of those sort of intros. It's very similar to that.
Yeah, very similar.
Ray said, how are they? Oh, sorry, Nahar said, how are they all so hot? Who's your favourite, Nahar?
You'll have to write into the producers and the casting people to find out.
Oh, and she also says apparently there's a season 5 coming out. I'm not surprised because it's so popular.
It's so popular, so popular.
And Millie Bobby Brown's very good.
She's very good. I am so jealous that you are watching Blacklist for the first time on season 3. I'm so jealous because I tell you, what's his name? I forget his name.
James Spader.
James Spader. I've been watching James Spader for years, from back in the 80s when he was in not 60, Pretty in Pink and all of those types of sort of 80s films up to now. And the way that from when he did like Mannequin and all of that to now, the way, because like he is also a comedic actor, and the way that he does the seriousness of the Blacklist, and he has a little bit of the comedic sort of timing in there as well, is so good. And he's such, I feel he's cemented himself because he sort of started with around the time that Robert Downey Jr., they were in a few films together in the 80s, and Robert Downey Jr. also is an excellent actor. Excellent.
Nahar said her favourites are Jonathan, Steve and Nancy. Oh, okay. Apparently they dated, didn't they? Jonathan and Nancy in real life. I'm pretty sure.
I can't recall which ones are.
For goodness sake.
The names, which ones are which. I can only remember. I remember the faces, but I can't remember their names.
Kelly can't remember them.
Says the man with the bad memory. Because I have a bad memory on this. But yeah, I still haven't answered the breakfast one. But
so go back to the breakfast one.
UK breakfast. I love Toby Carvery breakfast. I think it's brilliant. But you know what? I feel like hotel breakfasts. Do you know the Hilton in Brussels? They had a really good breakfast.
Yes. No, so that wasn't Richard's question. He said, what foods do you miss?
Oh, what foods do I miss? Sorry, yeah. The foods that I mean, a roast. I completely miss a roast. But I gotta say, the US mashed potato is delicious. And when I was younger, when we went to Florida, my stepdad, he would drive, and you get to see so much more if somebody's driving. And I don't drive when I go to the States. I'm a bit nervous on the roads. I'm thinking, oh, what if I drive on the right instead of the left or whatever it is? The Bob Evans. So I don't know, Richard, if you know Bob. I don't know if it's popular or if it's only in Florida, but I know they've closed quite a few restaurants. But Bob Evans, I tell you that when I ate it, the Bob Evans, I don't know how it is now, but years and years and years ago, it was like home cooked food. It was really, really good, really tasty, and one of my favorite restaurants to eat at. There was a specific one we went to.
Nancy, Jonathan, Steve.
Oh, right. Okay.
There you Nahar said Jonathan Nancy Day. That's right. And Charlie Heaton and Natalia Dyer. That's it. Charlie Heaton and Natalia Dyer. That's right. That's right. That's what we've got here. But yeah, it's a really, really good show. Going back, Bob Evans is good quality.
Yeah, I don't know how they are now because I've not been for however many years. But when I was younger and we went, it was like home cooked food, and we went there quite often. The other restaurant but if I'm in the States, that's what I miss. I miss a really good roast. Now that Gordon Ramsay has opened up restaurants there, I think he may have a Sunday roast. I know fish and chips is quite popular in the US.
I've seen that.
But it's not the same, obviously, as fish and chips here. But I think we had this discussion before. But the best fish and chips that I've tasted, I think, is probably the one at Epcot in the UK Pavilion. That's probably the best fish and chips, or as close to the UK as you can get.
So when you guys go abroad, anybody really, when you go on holiday outside the UK, is there a food that you do miss? And I suppose for you, Richard, as well, is there a food that you are missing by being in the US at home? Is there something that you really crave that you can't wait to go back and get? Or is it not? Is it just the fact that you think to yourself, and obviously depending where you go, could you ever live in another country and think, do you know what? I wouldn't bother me if I didn't touch that type of food again.
Do you know what I do miss? Tea.
Yeah, you do.
I do miss tea. And so I do bring my own tea bags. But I find that the water's quite hard in the States. So
Miss Monroe said America's gone very expensive. Do you know what? Actual fact, that's very true, because I have noticed that when we first went to the States.
Oh yeah.
The cost of eating out was really different. You could get really, really cheap eat outs. I mean, obviously you can go mega, mega cheap, but you could get some really cheap eat out. But as we've gone back, I'm thinking, whoa, this has gone up. This is definitely gone up.
I mean, the pound was very, very strong at one point. And so now that the pound is not as strong, you don't get as much for your money anymore, which is a real shame. And so, no, the plug's over there.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to get the charger.
So basically, Mark's just pointed out the battery, because I set up the laptop because I really wanted to get it done on time tonight, because obviously, there's one thing or another. And I brought the laptop over and I plugged everything in, and I needed to plug it in the right order. Otherwise, the sound doesn't work and the camera doesn't work, and we don't have the chat on here. And so I forgot to bring the charger over, but Mark's just bought it, so that's good. So
otherwise we'll just go pew and cut out.
Yeah.
Richard said American bagels and Chicago pizzas. I'd miss them.
We do have bagels here, but I don't know if they're actually done here or brought or imported from the States.
Well, the New York bagel, but if you look at this is made in Italy.
Yeah. So I can imagine you. It's not going to be the same as made in the States. It's not.
What I would, Miss Moreau said, and the quality of the food isn't as good. Controversial, but you know what? Actually, I do find that depends where you go.
Yeah, it does. It depends on the restaurant. So if you're going for cheap eats, like in the UK, if you're going for cheap eats, it's not going to be good quality. But when I go to, or when we go to Bahama Breeze, I really like the food at Bahama Breeze. And when we go to the Wicked Spoon, which is one of the higher end buffets in Vegas, the food is really good there too. But I do agree with you, not everywhere is good quality. Even when we go to the Ned, the food is good, but when I go for like the roast meats, I find them very dry.
Do you know what I've got to say though? Richard said also I'd miss the Chicago Italian beef sandwiches. Is that the big stack ones you get? The big high stack ones? Do you know?
I don't know what it is, but it sounds amazing.
It sounds like the New York ones where you get the big. Richard, I agree. There is good and bad food in the US and the UK.
Yeah, definitely.
But Miss Moreau is right. It really depends where you go. What I would say, and for me, the one thing that I always do miss, so when we go to the States and I come back to the UK, I really, really, really miss the buffets.
Yeah, you do.
I mean really miss the buffets. What I love about American buffets is obviously it's a buffet, so you can eat what you want, but the choice is so broad. There's so much choice. And like I said, I'm not going to eat everything on the menu. Of course not. But there, say there'll be about 100 items, maybe 250 items I can pick from. So I'm going to find at least 30% of that I want to eat. But in the UK, you got 30 items. So then you're really massively reduced to what you can have. And there's so fewer buffets here in the UK. And what I've noticed as well, and they are, and what I find with the buffets here, they are at the two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So you've got the dead cheap ones. So you've either got Toby or cheap Chinese ones, or you've got the really high end ones. There doesn't seem to be anything in the middle.
Yeah.
So that's your choices there. But I don't. In the States, you can really level them
up.
Yeah,
it goes. Yeah. I think that for me, I don't like the big buffets with all the choices, because inevitably, if you're going to a buffet that has 150 choices, not even 10% of that is going to be good. So
I disagree.
Yeah, Mark will choose quantity over quality. I'm not about that lifestyle.
Yay! And Miss Monroe says the same. I have buffet withdrawals when I get back from holiday. It's true. I love the variety of it, and I have a very big appetite. Okay, so I do eat a lot.
Yeah.
So for me, if what I really don't like, if I go, somebody will drag me to a restaurant sometimes, and the port, I'll order, say, like a fish dish, and this tiny thing of mash.
That's happened to you twice.
It's happened several times, and a tiny thing of fish comes out.
It happened to you at Co, and it happened to you at SOS, and that is it. And to be honest, he didn't even eat fish until he met me anyway.
No, I'd never touched a fish before I met you.
No, I'm saying while you were vegetarian.
Richard said Italian beef, the shaved beef with Italian seasoning and light beef gravy. Oh, do you actually dip the actual whole sandwich in gravy, or is it just the beef?
No, I wouldn't like my bread dipped. I would only like the beef dipped. I don't like soggy bread and things like that. That's not me. Or soggy Yorkshire puddings. I think you call them popovers over there.
Yeah, you do dip the bread. I thought so.
No.
I have seen that. Funny enough, I watched it on Man vs. Food. So they did have a baguette there, and he dipped the entire baguette in the gravy with the meat in the middle, and then served that up.
Oh no, I like the meat dipped in the gravy, but not the thing. But also, what you guys call gravy over there is different to what we call gravy.
Well, is that true? No, because I have seen some runnier gravies actually in the US. But one thing I did notice is when they had it's messy. It sounds it. But do you know what? Sometimes that's really good when you have a nice messy.
Yeah, I'm not one for messy, like sloppy joes and things like that. I'm not one for getting all my hands sticky. And things like that. I'm not one for that. But to be fair, even from the ages of early age, maybe 3 or 4, I've never been one to have my hands sticky or to be dirty. So like anything on my neck or over my face or anything like that, I find it very difficult when I'm eating wings or if I'm eating.
Richard, that is so true. You snob, Kelly. You're so true. Kelly will not, and Kelly also as well won't do anything where she's got to work for it. So anything where she's got to deshell something, open up a clam.
That is not for me.
Take something apart. Actually, have to do some work. She won't do anything.
No. About the most I will do will be I'll eat chicken wings. Or chicken or corn on a cob. That's probably about the most that you'll get from me. Anything where I'm having to take prawns out of things.
Oh no, that's all part of the
fun.
Or
like shelling prawns or doing the lobster or anything. No, that's too much. That's too much work. I want to sit there and I want to enjoy the food. I want to, I do miss afternoon tea, and I know you sort of afternoon tea is becoming popular in the States, but the afternoon, I don't know, can you replenish sandwiches? Because like in the UK, so if you go to somewhere like, Savoy, I'm sure you probably did afternoon tea. So when you go to places like Savoy or the Ritz or Fortnum's, which we're booking to go to soon, you can have as many sandwiches or as many cakes as you want. And as much tea as you want. You can change up the teas. You can have as much scones as you want. But the scones here taste like what you guys call biscuits over there. But you guys have plain biscuits. But
he is English, you guys like it.
Oh, are you, Richard?
Richard's from the UK.
Oh, are you? There you go. So I thought you were there and you'd come to visit here. That's what I thought.
I laughed when I watched your pizza vid this weekend. Mark used a knife and fork to eat pizza. Here we pick it up, fold it, and chow down.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, do you know, actual fact, Richard, I was just about to say that, and I that's one thing I really, really, really do enjoy about the US, and I could live there for this reason, and that is I hate all the pretense you've got in the UK. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. As when you because Kelly, like, you know, go out, dress up. I hate all that.
I don't enjoy that.
Let me finish. So I don't like that. I don't like having to do. And what I really loved about the US is I can rock up anywhere in shorts, t-shirt, or anything like that, and you can just be relaxed. You can eat relaxed, like I say, just fold it and eat and chow down. And all of that as well. I think I was more conscious as well using knife and fork because I was in the video. I'm always conscious of people watching these videos and say, "God, look how he eats! Look how he eats a pizza." So I just thought to myself, "Oh, I better put on some manners here." But I do love that. I do like the fact that it's more relaxed. I do love the fact that, like I said, and they do encourage that. Like I said, when we went to Florida and places like that, you see people in shorts, you see people in t-shirts, even in sort of posher restaurants, not the posh, obviously. And that's what I do like about it as well. So, for example, if we went to afternoon tea, I know I can't dress like that.
Yeah.
I know I've got to sit upright. I know I've got to eat it. And I just think that, for me, not ruins the enjoyment, but does take away from it. I just like to be able to relax and enjoy and then have that.
Yeah, but I think when we go for afternoon tea, we don't dress up. It's smart casual. That's the first thing. So it's not one of those ones where, when we went to the Ritz, that was a bit different. We did dress up. We went with your parents.
Yeah.
So we did dress up a little bit.
It's
then.
just uncomfortable. I mean, I'd wear a suit to work when I was going into work. I thought, I don't want to wear a suit eating.
I get that part. And off camera, I did eat with my hands. I folded it and I just ate. But what I find slightly annoying when you order pizza is they never cut it for you. No. So when you go to these restaurants, they never cut it. So it's annoying that you're trying there because inevitably the knives are never sharp. So you can never sort of like just cut it properly. So you're there and you're tearing the pizza. But what would have been better and it is for them to cut it. I mean, they would have had pizza cutters there, so not to cut it was a little bit annoying. But I would like, I don't know, is it New York style when it's a bit sloppy?
Yeah.
I would eat with my hand and I would enjoy it being a little bit sloppy. That's pretty much the only thing.
Richard said, I respect cultures in every country I visit. The world is diverse and an amazing place to explore. And it is, you're so right. And do you know what they just say? The vast majority, people don't realize this, the vast majority of countries and people in countries eat with their hands. Knife and fork is very much a Western concept.
Yeah.
Most societies will eat with their hands. You either get some form of bread and use that bread to scoop them and eat with their hand. But I've got to be honest, if I'm at home here, I'll do that a lot. And that's how I will eat. Depending on what you eat, obviously you don't want to get your hands that many. But I will eat, if it's things like a curry or something like that, I will use a chapati and use that to eat.
Yeah, which I don't mind the majority of the time. But Mark inevitably never has any tissue. And he's sitting on the sofa and he wants to reach for this. All the handles are sticky in the house. Because Mark is like, oh yeah, which is quite good to be able to eat with your hands and stuff like that. But a little bit of tissue and stuff like that would also be good.
But I do, going back to your point as well, but that's what I do really like about the American, and it's not sloppy. I do like that casual approach. They do cater for that. They do enable you to relax. They do enable, do you know what I mean? And I feel much more relaxed. I do much prefer that approach as well. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing worse than trying to eat with somebody in your party that's there's got no table manners at all. That, I mean, I can't abide that. I really just, I think, oh, God's sake. But but I do like that casual approach. I do enjoy that casual approach.
And I'm very slow when I'm eating. And I think sometimes for other people, I don't know if that sort of not upsets them, but they're probably thinking, oh, like, do you know what I mean? Because I'm very slow when I go to a buffet. It doesn't because Mark can get up as many times then and go for as many dishes, and I'll still be on my first one. But I tend to eat quite slowly.
Oh, that's interesting. So Richard said, I agree, it's more relaxed, but Brits have a better sense of humour. Do you find that?
Really?
Well, do you know what? It's a different sense of humour. But it's interesting you do say that. But I've noticed when I try and joke with Americans, they don't always get my comedy. So I do see where you're coming with that as well. But I've noticed that when I watch YouTube videos where Americans do reactions to British things, they do like the British comedy. They do like it. Al Murray seems to be quite popular in the people that I watch, and a few others as well.
See, because I understand the American humor quite a lot, because here obviously we've been brought up on a lot of American things. So like every other show was American when I was growing up. So you sort of get to know the American sense of humor. When I was growing up, Chandler was very close from Friends to my type of sense of humor, like that sarcastic type of like sense of humor. So that was what was, do you know what I mean, my type of sense of humor, really. But again, a lot of people in the UK don't really understand what is it they say, sarcasm is the lowest form of wit.
Yes. Oscar Wilde.
There you go. But yeah, that's pretty much my sort of sense of humor. And some people find it funny, but some people actually think I'm being rude, and I'm really not. But yeah, it's funny how, and it's also funny how people sort of misinterpret your intention or misinterpret how you are. Like some people are sort of like a bit wary of me because they don't know if I'm firm or if I'm what's the word, assertive. And don't get me wrong, sometimes yes, I am assertive and things like that, but it's not all the time at all, and it's only at certain key points when you need to be assertive, obviously. But it's funny how a lot of people don't get my type of sense of humor, even in the UK.
Well, do you know, I'm going back to the food parts as well. So, I mean, it's not just from the US as well. When we went to Lanzarote as well, which is predominantly Spanish food, again, I really did enjoy Spanish food. And there's aspects of that I do miss when we go back to there as well. It's same when we went to Italy, Paris. Although French food, I'm going to be controversial now, although it's rated as the world's best, not for me. Not for me.
Do you know what it is though?
Too rich.
Yeah, haven't.
Too rich.
We've not been to any. To be fair, in France or in Belgium, we've not been to any fancy restaurants. We've not been, like, here. We'll pick like maybe a high end restaurant, and not even that high end. I'm talking about something like the Ned, right? But again, that's a buffet, so it's not high end. We don't tend to go to a lot of high end. To me, high end restaurant would be something, you know, like in the Shard or in, you know, the Sky Garden or one of them type of restaurants, or to a Michelin star restaurant. That to me is high end, and we've not been to any. So when we go to Paris or Brussels, it is difficult. It is difficult for you to find food that you enjoy, to be fair.
Yeah.
And it's very, and that they don't do anything like buffets and things like that there.
No, not at all. No, I found that in France, Spain, Italy, could not find buffet. It literally is, you order per meal.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one dish you'd have to order.
Unless you're staying in a hotel that actually does, there'll be buffet breakfast.
Yeah.
But I don't know of a hotel when we stayed in Paris or when we stayed in Brussels, they didn't have a buffet dinner.
Which is ironic because buffet is a French word. So so it's quite unusual you don't find it. But no, when we've been to France, Spain, Spain, Lanzarote, and Italy, we have not found, I've not found that. Especially all Brussels, are those buffet things. They don't. Now, it might just be the fact that we haven't researched it, we haven't spotted it. It's not the go-to thing, but not seen many of them around.
But in Lanzarote, in the hotel, you do get buffet lunch and dinner.
Yeah, so I don't think you can count the hotel because the hotel will serve buffet food. I'm talking about restaurants.
Yeah, there's not that many restaurants, but in Lanzarote they do large portions for food. I feel.
Depending where you go.
Yeah, again, but I think that's the case of any place. But when I went to Spain, and it's difficult for Mark because he doesn't really like pasta and he doesn't really like rice. So you're talking about two staples there of a country that you wouldn't really eat. But when I went to Barcelona, they did this deal where it was 3 courses for €11, and that included a drink. So you could get your starter, main, and dessert, and you could have a drink. And what I did was I had a pasta starter and a pasta lunch. I was so full. I couldn't eat another bite. I was like, oh my God. But I just thought at the time for €11 was perfect because there's not that many places here that would do. And it was really nice restaurant. It was their lunchtime special, €11. And my friend who was living there, she was saying, yeah, a lot of restaurants, that is normal for a lot of restaurants to do that. Now you can now get that. Well, you wouldn't get it for £11 or £12, but there are now places that do set menus for £20, where you can get a starter, main, and dessert. It doesn't include a drink, so not as quite a good value. But there are plenty of restaurants now that do a set menu for about 20 quid.
So I'm going to say now, talking of diversity, there's a lot of diversity actually within the country. Now, Ray, you'll do that as well because you're obviously in Birmingham. You'll notice, like I said, that not just the quality, I suppose, but actually the price difference. We noticed that, especially when we went to Birmingham, is so much cheaper. Not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, than London. London is very expensive. It's only when we've been outside that I'm thinking, wow. When we spoke to Mark, was he from Whitstable?
No, Mark is from Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle way. He went to fishing. I'm sure he went to Whitstable, but anyway. So he went to the coast near Newcastle. And what we pay, Kelly and I pay £40 for fish and chips here in London. Okay, so that's for two.
For two.
And obviously a few extras, so a few things added into that as well. Mark paid about almost half that.
Yeah, it wasn't even £20.
Wasn't even 20. Now that's for two. That's a price difference you get. So just where you are as well, I suppose, for people where they are. So Richard in the States, do you find that price difference around the country? Have you been to places and you've been shocked at the price from where you are? And does it differentiate that much? So I'm thinking as well. So Ray, do you find it different where you go in Birmingham? Was it all pretty much the same price? Or if you go even further north or further east or further south, do you find a difference? I suppose that's open to everybody.
I think when I was in New York, or when we were in New York, I found that New York wasn't expensive by London standards. It was still expensive.
Yeah, it was expensive.
It was expensive, but it wasn't expensive by London standards.
It was much more pricey than... oh, wow. So Richard said, yes, Chicago is crazy versus the suburbs. That's interesting.
I would say any city.
So you're saying what's the central city to the suburbs? Funny enough, I was on Twitter and I was looking at some of the comments somebody made, and an American came to London and then went to Paris, and they love Paris. They didn't like London. They said London is just the same as Chicago. I don't know what she meant by that, but she just said the setup. I think she loved the buildings in Paris, but she thought London was too much like Chicago. Whatever she meant by that. But is it that big a difference? You know,
I think pretty much any city can be expensive. I only ate in Barcelona that day. The rest of the time, and they had like lunchtime deals happening. That was in the centre. Now, don't get me wrong, there are places in London that would do a set menu. Coat is one of them that will do a set menu for something like £20. It doesn't include a drink, but you can have a nice meal. Obviously not Mark, because it'd be too small a portion size for him. But when I go with my girlfriends, we go, we pay, we do a set meal. If I go with my mum, we'll do a set meal, and it's fine, it's reasonable for us, and we'll be full, and that will last us. But I feel like when I went to Toronto, I thought, my goodness, it was in some parts was more expensive than London. Really was expensive. I felt New York was expensive to eat out. So yeah.
Oh, so Charlie's got 253 followers. Well done.
Wow,
You got
wow,
three
wow,
while we were on
wow.
the live. Well done, Charlie. Richard said beers. Oh my god, a beer at the Cubs game of $15. $15 for one beer.
So that's £10, right?
Yeah, no, more, about 12.
12.
Oh, we got V Singularity's joined us. Hello, how are you?
Hi. How are you?
Off topic. Sorry, he said off topic, but you guys are very entertaining to watch. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Sam, hello.
Hey, Sam.
How are you? You good? We were just talking about prices in the UK for food.
Yeah.
But all over the place. They are. Mark and Kelly exude positivity.
Oh, thank you.
Well, do you know what? We feed off your guys' energy as well.
Exactly.
So we really enjoy doing the lives. We really do enjoy talking to you and getting all your tips as well. So we like to spread the tips, spread the love. So if you do have suggestions or anything, we do like to sort of share those as well.
What was it? V
Singularity.
V Singularity. I was having a conversation. We were having a conversation earlier. We were talking about Ivy Asia, and I was just saying that they've opened today a new Ivy Asia in Mayfair.
Oh wow! There you go.
So
the Ivy Asia we went to is just off St Paul's. You may see that in one of our other videos. Very nice food. The decor in the place is fantastic. I showed somebody at work. They just go, oh, I want to go here for my birthday. So the decor's really, really nice.
Amazing.
We're really good. So thank you, Sam. Yeah.
Thank you.
Glad it's a short weekend this weekend.
Short week.
Well, short week.
Yeah. Long weekend, short week.
It's for people in the UK. So
yes.
If you are in the UK, we've got the bank holidays coming up for
Queen's Jubilee.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Queen's Jubilee. And we are on the subject of food as usual because we love the food. But we are, I would definitely like to go back to Ivy Asia. That's one of the places I want to go back to and try that fried chicken we were talking about earlier. Do you know what? If the Ned decide to stop their members, I would like to go back to the Ned.
I love the Ned. I really did enjoy the Ned. That's the best buffet I've been to in England. That is the best buffet I've been to in England.
What is the most that you would pay? Because it went up to £75, right, per person.
See, and this proves this proves my point in England. You've either got the buffets that are the cheap ones as well, which is not bad. Like Toby Carvery's a fantastic value for money buffet.
Fantastic.
Or you've got the 75 ones. There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
Do you want to pay $7.99 or 75? I wouldn't go much above 75.
You wouldn't go much, but
£100 towards for a buffet is.
Yeah, it's now.
Oh, no, sorry, go on, and then Richard's asked a question.
Bearing in mind, at this buffet, you can for 2 hours. You can have unlimited oysters and unlimited lobster, as well as everything else. So would you think that's worth it? Is it worth? I mean, if you have a big appetite, because I don't. So for me, it's not worth it. However, for Mark, he could eat 5 or 6 lobsters and as many as 20 probably oysters. Would that be worth? Would £100 to you be worth it? If you can eat 5 lobsters and like 20 oysters.
The problem, it's worth it in the sense if you can eat that much, yes, you would say. But the trouble is, I'm going in with a mindset, I've got to do that to make my money's worth, which is probably not a good idea. I would much rather pay slightly less.
But would you, but you'd still eat 5 lobsters even if you paid less.
Maybe.
Yeah, because in Mauritius, I was thinking you ate 5 lobsters.
I did. Right, Richard said, is the Jubilee a big thing over there? Miss Moreau said, Richard, absolutely. GB. Yeah, so, well, it kind of is, I would say, because it's advertised everywhere. Every shop front in our local town, and obviously around London as well, pretty much advertises it in the shop windows as well. So, yeah, I think as well, the fact is as well, Richard, they've actually moved the bank holiday. So the bank holiday should have been yesterday, but they've moved that now to Thursday and given us an extra day off. So we have got Thursday and Friday off as bank holiday this week. So tomorrow will be my last day of work for this week. So we'll have that then. V Singularity says, "Oh, I didn't know there was a new one in Mayfair. Hope they spread around the country because the food is top notch." Thanks for the info.
Because I did a reply to you today, but you probably just haven't seen it. But I did say, yep, they've opened a new one today.
And there's quite a few Ivies as well. So not just the Ivy Asia, that's the second one.
Yeah.
Richard said oysters are one of my faves. Naperville, Illinois has a great place, expensive but worth every penny.
Wow.
Do you know what, Richard, is well, whenever we've gone to Vegas, they always have oysters on the cart, and I never have them. Not because I don't trust them. Well, I suppose it is a little bit, but it's not because I don't trust them. But I'm always worried that because obviously you're eating them raw, I'd be gutted if I got food poisoning on holiday because that would put me out for 3 or 4 days. In actual fact, that would be my buffet over for an entire week.
Yeah.
I've had food poisoning before. Actually, I had it. When did I have
Brighton, you had it, and you had it recently as well.
Well, I say recently. I think I had it just before Christmas.
Right.
And it absolutely knocked me out. And I couldn't eat properly for about a week and a half. And I thought to myself, I do not want to waste a week and a half. So I avoid them in the States. But I would love to try oysters on the coast in America. I think that would be fantastic. And I can imagine the oysters there are amazing. What's your favourite way to eat oysters? Mine is with Tabasco sauce and raw. That's the best way to have it.
There's
me personally.
A few YouTubers that I've seen, and they went to a specific buffet, and I can't remember which one it was, but they had fried. It was the oysters were battered and had been fried, and I thought I would definitely eat those. I've got to try and remember where it was. But yeah, I definitely, and that was on a buffet, and I would definitely have those.
Yeah, you've got to try them raw though. You've got to try them. There is a place near us in our local town, a fishmonger that does them.
Yeah.
So the trouble is, he's there during the week, so I'm working during the week. But when I go, I will treat myself to something. I've broken about 4 of our knives trying to.
Yeah, no, he's there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, right, we just never get right. Never get to see him.
He's there for Thursday.
But yeah, I love the oysters as well. I'd love to try those. Going back to your Ivy Asia, if any of you guys are in London, do try the Ivy Asia. It is slightly pricey.
It is very pricey
because it is the Ivy. But it is, if you like Asian food, it is quite nice. It's not massive portions, but they are okay. But the food is good.
Yeah, and they are doing a. I don't know if they are doing this always, but they do an experience, and it's like a stack experience, and it comes with all the sort of like dry ice. Looks very impressive.
Oh, the theatre, yeah.
Yeah, it's about £26, I think it is, but I think they're doing a deal at the moment that might be 18. We got sent something to go for they've got their soft opening today, I think, and we were sent something to be able to go this week, but the only day that they have available that I could see was Friday, and of course we're doing our brunch on Fridays, so we can't go on Friday.
But just because we can't doesn't mean you shouldn't. So do have a look if you are in London. You want to have a check that out.
I don't know if it's only specific to people who are on the mainland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that we're big for you.
No.
Richard said, Richard, raw with hot sauce. Yeah, so I do Tabasco. And horseradish. I've not had them with horseradish. I have noticed they tend to do red wine vinegar with shallots, and then you can spoon that in. I have tried that, which is quite nice. And I have tried, what's the other one? That's really, really nice.
Oh, they did one with lemon.
Yeah, with lemon's good as well. You can try it with pesto, but I've not done that with pesto, but I would like to try it. But yeah, with lemon's good. Lemon with fish is good, nice anyway. It's delicious.
I find that lemon's quite strong, and so I don't want it. A lot of people say it enhances the fish, but I find that all I can taste is the lemon, and
you put too much on. You put too much on.
What, the wedge that they give you, and you squirt it like that?
Just gentle drops. That's all you want. If you find it too strong, just try it with a few drops.
Yeah, for me, it's a bit too strong, but I don't mind if the fish has been cooked on the lemon. So like normally if I'm doing if I'm doing a side of salmon for Mark, I'll slice the lemon. I do a marinade anyway, but I slice lemon and then I put it all up and down the tray, and then I lay the fish on top of the lemon. That's what I do.
So we've been going on about mains, but I do want to get your guys' idea on desserts. Now, one of the things I do miss when I go on holiday about the UK in food wouldn't be so much the mains, but it would be the desserts. And funny enough, I think I've said this story many times, but I'll tell you again anyway. Why not? So there was a football player, soccer player called Tim Howard. Now he lived in the UK for 11 years. He played for Manchester United and then Everton. And they asked him, he's gone back to the United States to live because I think he plays in the MLS. Well, he did do, and then he retired. And they asked him, is there anything about the UK that you miss? And the one thing he said, I absolutely love sticky toffee pudding.
I knew you were going to say that.
Sticky toffee pudding. He said, he said the Americans don't know what they're missing with sticky toffee pudding. He said, if I could, I would, and that was his plan. I don't think he ever did it, but he wanted to create a sticky toffee pudding brand in the US.
Right.
I do really enjoy English desserts, I have to say. So that is one thing I would miss.
A lot of Gordon Ramsay restaurants, I know they're pricey in the States, but a lot of his restaurants do sticky toffee pudding. So if you ever wanted to try sticky toffee pudding, go to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. I'm not a lover of sticky toffee pudding. I don't think it's all that. I think there are other better desserts. I absolutely love what you call it, peach cobbler, and our version would be crumble. I love a crumble, but not rhubarb crumble because that's just sour nonsense, and that's just no, that's a no for
sour
me.
Nonsense.
But I love, like a good apple crumble, a good cherry crumble. Actually, yeah, my sister-in-law was saying to me, why don't I make a crumble? And maybe that might be one of the desserts I might make, as a cherry crumble.
V Singularity said oysters with tartar sauce with a splash of lemon is really. I've not tried it with tartar sauce,
and that would make sense.
But I love fish with tartar sauce.
Yes,
I do love fish.
Yeah.
I do really like, especially fish and chips. This cod with tartar sauce is amazing. I much prefer that actually than ketchup. I miss your chocolate eclairs. That's one of Kelly's favourites, chocolate eclairs.
I adjusted the shopping and I forgot to put chocolate eclairs in.
But you do get tartar sauce in the States. I know that as well. But do you not get any form of chocolate eclair in the States?
I think they do have, from memory from some of the buffets, they do have eclairs. I'm sure I had it at Caesar's Palace, but I got to say, and I don't know if this is controversial or what, but the Caesar's Palace buffet is
It's not bad, but it's not as basically. It was one of the most priciest buffets on the Las Vegas Strip. So for the price, our opinion, and it is our opinion because we both agreed, you can go to we say better, nicer buffets, in our opinion, than Caesar's Palace. I think because Caesar's Palace is one of the biggest hotels on the Strip. And it's got one of the biggest buffets there. Do you know what I think it was? I was so looking forward to it. I paid quite a lot for us to go. It was well over $100 back then, and this is several years ago. And then when we went, that was the lunchtime one as well, which is even cheaper. So I thought, God knows what the evening one would have been.
The problem with me and the Caesar's Palace buffet, and for me it wasn't good, and it was not worth the money. Was that the quality? And I'm all about the quality, was not there. So for all the stations that they had, and I was picking different things to give it a try, to give it, the benefit of the doubt, was not good. And then, but to be fair, on most this is what I found the most disappointing. But on most buffets, I am disappointed with regards to desserts. I feel a lot of buffets cannot do desserts. There's only been one buffet that I've actually gone to, and the desserts are on point, and that's the Wicked Spoon.
Yeah, but I think also as well, they do taste synthetic slightly, some of them. And I think what they do is they buy them in on bulk because it's buffet.
Yeah.
That's not to say I've tried homemade desserts in the US, and they're very nice. Homemade apple pie is very, very good. Richard said, no eclairs I've seen. No clotted cream? No, you don't in the States. I've spotted that as well. I think... Now, funny enough, I did watch again on YouTube an American reviewing clotted cream. An American guy went to Devon, then Cornwall, did a holiday, got absolutely addicted to clotted cream, went back to the States and made it a mission to try and get that. Also, funnily enough, brie. They did a platter and had brie as a starter, and then they got addicted to brie. So they were looking for brie everywhere, and they said you can import it, but it's very expensive. But yeah, the clotted cream again, it's imported from the UK. So and he said he found one somewhere, but he said it was nowhere near as good. So I think an American company had tried to replicate it.
But I do love ambrosia, as we had discussed. I really love ambrosia. I'm going to try and replicate it because we don't have Cool Whip here.
No.
So I think somebody said basically you kind of do a chantilly cream almost, which could replace the Cool Whip.
Richard said, "Oh, Devon custard, you guys are making me crave British." But you do get custard in the States. I have tried custard in the States. It is slightly runnier. And it's a bit more milky than I'm used to here, but it's not bad.
I don't remember having. No, but I'm not a custard person.
No, I definitely had the custard with it. They did serve the custard.
But when we were at when we went to Wicked Spoon, they had chantilly cream, which was delicious, by the way. But they had overwhipped it. They overwhipped the cream.
Oh yeah, they had. Yeah, they had.
Which is a shame to overwhip the cream.
But I used to like to do that. So the chantilly cream just came as a side, but I love having that with pancakes. Which, I love adding that on. That which is really, really nice.
Yeah. It's when you overwhip something, it's fine. It still tastes good. It just doesn't look good.
Well, to ease your craving, the one thing I do miss from the United States is most definitely the maple syrup. Maple syrup here is very expensive. It's incredibly. So my brother, who's living in Washington, he sent over me some maple syrup a while ago. But here, a small 250 gram one, so you're talking about this, or milliliter one, which is tiny like this, is about £6. So it's quite expensive. So about $8 for a tiny one. And I went online looking for maple syrup. And I thought in the States you can buy massive, great big punnets of it for a lot less. Well, obviously pound for pound. But yeah, so I do miss that. I must say as well, I love the fact you can have maple syrup with everything.
Yeah.
Steam distilled maple syrup is the way to go. Oh, I've not tried that.
No.
Steam distilled.
Never even heard of it.
No, we don't get that here.
Yeah.
You get a lot of obviously homemade brands, and I think obviously a lot of it's imported, so again it's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a brunch, and we said to a couple of people to bring maple syrup. Yeah. Well, I think you haven't. I said let's just get syrup, but Mark has a session with. Same.
That's like just say, oh, we don't need butter. Let's just use lard. It's not the same. You want to have something.
That's not quite true.
It is exactly the same thing.
It's not quite true.
So you want to have the main thing. You can't just turn around and say, oh yeah, let's do pancakes and bacon. But yeah, we'll just have some thing. Or have you been to Disneyland or Disney World? I assume so, based on your ears, Kelly.
Disney World.
Do you have any opinions on the food base? Oh my God, we could talk for ages, me singularity on that. Go on, I'll let you go.
The thing
yes, we have, by the way. We've been to Florida many times.
That's one of the reasons why we started the channel, because we started the channel back in 2017.
Yeah.
And our thing was we were going to mainly do when we go to Florida to Disney World, and then we were going to do all our trips that we do in between. So places like Lanzarote, of which we did. But when we first started, our videos were sort of like a minute or 2 minutes. It wasn't very long videos, and our editing skills and things like that, we had the camera, because when we very first started videoing, we had the camera at the time. So we bought a vlogging camera and everything else when we decided to start the channel. And then the pandemic happened. So the videos, during the pandemic, we sort of like honed our skills a little. We didn't do much. I had got sick and all of that type of stuff. And so, although we were still in the pandemic, we sort of started doing more and more videos in 2021 rather than 2020. And once the sort of world sort of started opening back up again, and we were going to restaurants and things like that, we were able to vlog a lot more. we did a lot of like things like this where you guys can come chat to us, hang out with us, and things like that. And so it was our way to sort of connect with you guys, which is what ultimately we wanted to do anyway, via our videos and stuff like that. And I said, you know what, let's do some lives. And so that's what we did.
Stick to topic.
Sorry. So Disney World. So that's what I was just, little background of how we got started. And I had always gone to, I started going to Florida very early, sort of back in 97. It was my first trip to Disney World, and I loved it ever since. I have been to Euro Disney, which now I think they're calling Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
My most favorite park is Epcot.
No. VC Lads was asking about the food.
Oh, the food.
Do you have any opinion on the food base there?
But wait. So, my favorite park is Epcot. Back then it was called Epcot Center. Now, with regards to food, what I love about Epcot is you get to go to the different pavilions. And in each pavilion, especially when the food festival comes along, you get to try the foods of the different countries. And I really, really like that. But in terms of restaurants, the one that I've been to that I really like is Hollywood and Vine.
Yeah, which is in
Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios.
And I also like the Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So those are my two restaurants. However,
which is in Magic Kingdom.
However, there are other restaurants that we also tried Liberty Inn.
Which is also in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Now, all of these the three restaurants that were buffet restaurants.
Yeah.
So the food quality is of, your buffet restaurant quality. But I feel like for me, with Hollywood and Vine, what puts it above the others is that there was more choice. Yeah. And I preferred the way that the food was cooked rather than at Crystal Palace and at Liberty Inn. But I've seen so many restaurants that I want to try. My absolute favorite restaurant in Florida, I have to say, is Bahama Breeze.
Yeah, I've got to say, I would agree with Kelly. That's one of mine. But if you're talking specifically about the parks, I would say that, Hollywood and Vine, and I would agree with Kelly totally. Hollywood and Vine, the Magic Kingdom, the Crystal Palace. No, Liberty Bell wasn't one of my favorites, purely because they only had one veggie option for me, and that was like a tomatoey pasta, which I didn't want.
Yeah. They've changed now, though, from what I've seen of other YouTubers. Yeah. There's more choice.
So it looks like there's more choice, but this is many years ago, so I wouldn't rule it out. But if you are vegetarian, just be wary of that. If you're going somewhere like this, and I noticed that as well. The veggie option in a lot of places is like a tomatoey pasta, which if you don't want that, you're pretty limited. So there is that there.
There's loads of quick serve restaurants. And there was a fish quick serve restaurant in Magic Kingdom. I can't remember which one it is. And their portion size is quite big. But also, when you go upstairs, there's no one there. So if you want to go, there's so many hidden places. I could go on about Florida for ages, by the way. But there are so many hidden places that you can go to in these parks, because the parks can get really packed. And there are so many places that you can go where it's unbelievable that no one's there, and you think, wow, I can just sit here and practically have the place to myself. Hidden gems. But when they had the food festival one year, it was in the China booth or the Japanese booth?
That was in the China booth.
They did these strawberries, candied strawberries, right? Sesame candied strawberries. I've not seen them since. Because they didn't do it the following year, did they? That was only that year. And even when I've watched other YouTubers, it's not been available. But them strawberries,
they were amazing. Sorry, guys, I'm afraid we are going to have to stop you there, because we were going to break for the Bake Off the Professionals, unfortunately. So it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes to 6 o'clock. So we're ready. 8 o'clock even.
8 o'clock. Oh my
God, what am I
6 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. I was going to say. So we're going to leave it there for today. But thank you so much. Sorry we had to cut it short, but thank you so much for joining us for the live. We really did enjoy that, and it was such a good chat. We really enjoyed. That is it for Mark and Kelly's Trips, Tips and Things today. And this week we are entertaining on Friday.
Yeah.
So unfortunately we won't be able to do Fridays live, but we will be back next Tuesday. You take care as well, Richard.
Yeah, you too. I might film though live from the garden, maybe. So I will see but it will be from my camera, so it won't be really good quality or anything like that, not like what we do from our camera or when we're sitting here. But I may do a live from the garden.
Oh, there you are. So we may or may not do, but watch this space. We don't want to promise anything because I think you're taking on too much because we are doing quite a lot of entertaining. But just in case, hopefully on Tuesday we will be back 6 p.m. usual time. Until then, look after yourselves, take care, and remember, you are never too old to have fun. Until then, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the Jubilee for those that are celebrating it. Have a great time in the United States for those that are there, and all around the world. Look after yourselves, and we will see you on the next live. Bye for now.
Bye for now. I can't wait for the bake-off.